Hare Krishna. I would like to thank, first of all, His Grace Ramchandra Prabhu and Ram Tulsi Prabhu for inviting me. The topic and whatever I'm going to speak is what I've heard from my seniors, especially my spiritual master and also my Shiksha Guru, His Grace Radhesham Prabhu. I thought this topic is very interesting because it puts into focus why are we practicing Krishna consciousness? Because Krishna consciousness practice is not just about, yes, we do chant Hare Krishna, we do engage in Kirtan, but also a setting, there is one setting which is more favorable for our cultivation of Krishna consciousness. Therefore, the Vedic lifestyle is a more favorable setting versus the today modern day setting, isn't it? So, sometimes we feel very toxic in our environment. If we go to some of the cities in India, like Delhi or Bangalore, or any of the today's metropolitan cities, you will find there's so much of pollution. There's even the water bodies in Bangalore, the place where I used to live. Nearby, there was a Vrishabhavati river. It was a river. Today, it is, there is gutter water from the nearby residential places flowing there, and it's no more a river. There was one more incident in Bangalore itself. There's a place called as Bilandur. Many IT people stay there. It's close to Whitefield and all that. So over there's a lake called the Bilandur Lake. One day in the news headlines I read, the Bilandur Lake had caught fire. It will be astonishing to find how can a water body catch fire. We have heard cars catching fire, homes catching fire, isn't it? But lake caught fire. Why? They explained the article because they had dumped so much of oil and a lot of garbage inside. That garbage caught fire. So therefore, we see that sometimes we want to live in a nature which is free from pollution, free from toxicity, isn't it? And sometimes we want to live in an environment which is not just environmentally free from toxicity, but also relationship-wise free from toxicity, isn't it? So Vedic conception is Geo Ginedo. But in the material world, you will find in this world how everything works is Jiva Jivasya Jivanam. This is how the modern lifestyle is. Jiva Jivasya Jivanam means one living entity becomes the food for the other, isn't it? Just like in the food chain we have studied in science, a small insect is a food for frog. Frog is a food for snake. Snake is a food for eagle, isn't it? Or snake can become food for peacock. And peacock is food for lion. Like this, you will always see the mighty wins, the might wins. In this world, we are naturally coming across different individuals. And these different individuals, we are supposed to live in a society based on mutual cooperation. But as soon as we come with different living entities, there's always one who takes a weaker position and one who takes a mightier position, isn't it? And the might wins. So therefore, you will find Jiva Jivasya Jivanam means sometimes we find there in a locality there are many Telawalas. Telawala means they have these wooden carts where they sell vegetables on the street. As they're selling vegetable in the street, in the same locality, a mall can come up. And what does the mall do? The mall or the supermarket will sell the same vegetables at a lower price. Because they sell the same vegetable for the lower price, all the Telawalas will go out of business. Once they go out of business, then they increase the price in the supermarket or the mall. Why? Because now they get all the customers for themselves. Similarly, you will find IT companies like Nokia. Nokia was taken up by, anyone knows? Sorry? Is it Microsoft?
Microsoft.
So Nokia was taken up by Microsoft, or WhatsApp was taken up by Meta. So the smaller businesses are taken up by the bigger businesses, and bigger businesses are taken up by even bigger businesses, isn't it? So in this way, the one entity becomes the food for the other. The weaker becomes food for the stronger, and the stronger want to even exploit the weaker. Like when we go to job as employees, the employers want to make sure they give as much work as possible and as less salary as possible. You will find that. Whereas the employee's mood is, I want to do as less work as possible and get as much salary as possible. Therefore, there is a tussle between the two. So, therefore, the material world sustains on the principle of jivo jivasya jivana. A man and a tiger cannot stay in the same room at the same time. It's not possible. They cannot coexist. Now, many times people say the animals, the wild animals come into the, come into our locality and eat up. Why do they come? Generally, the animals, they don't go out of their bound. But because the man has intruded their area, he has cut down the forest and made city over there. So then where do they live? Like I was staying in Boston for 2 years. Then I heard in Boston also there's a lot of rat problem. There's so many rats everywhere, or some rats or mice. And later I understood because in much of the Boston area, it was actually covered by water. So they pushed back the water and they have occupied that land. So all the places underground and everything, the rats used to live. Now we're using poison, we are using rat traps to kill them and get them out. But actually we have intruded their area, isn't it? So in this way, just because we are might, we want to exploit the weaker section. And this is how material world functions. But in the spiritual world, it is not like that. In the spiritual world runs on a principle of Gio Ginedo. Live and let live. You also be happy, I'll also be happy. This is spiritual world. Whereas material world, I be happy even at your cost. If I'm going to get success by climbing your head, I don't mind. This is material world. Spiritual world is based on service attitude, selflessness. Material world is based on selfishness. What is in it for me? WIIFM. Always the antenna is going around. What's in it for me? Wherever I go, what's in it for me? Whereas spiritual world, what can I do for you? How can I serve you? How can I help you? So therefore, sometimes our devotees, when they're little new, sometimes they think, when I go to association of devotees talk so, sometimes they're not very well mannered. Sometimes you'll find. So when they go in a flight, the air hostess will come to them and say, "My dear sir, would you like to have anything? Can I bring anything for you?" Usually, this person's heart is, he becomes so happy. Yeah, of course. He feels that this air hostess loves to serve me so much. Does she really want to serve you? No, she is serving her pocket. As a means of serving her pocket, yes, she's serving you. But stop the salary to her pocket, immediately her service to you stops. Therefore, material world means motivated service. Spiritual world means selfless service, unmotivated. Ahaitukya pratihata yayatmasu prasidati. Savai pumsa paro dharmo yato bhaktira dokshaje. Ahaitukya pratihata yayatmasu prasidati. Sutra Goswami tells the sages of Naimisharanya that what is most pleasing to the spirit soul, to all of us, is to practice bhakti to the Supreme Lord, but not any kind of bhakti, not the bhakti in the three modes, which is characterized by violence, which is characterized by desire for name and fame, characterized by, how can I just purify, clear my mind and get concentration, focus. That is not, that bhakti is, that is also good, wanting purification of heart, but pure bhakti is even free from that. Kapila says, Mad gunashruti matrena. Like that he says. That means one simply wants to love and serve Krishna. That bhakti, yayatma suprasidati, it completely satisfies the self. So this is spiritual world, what it sustains on. Jio Jinedo. Because one is satisfied, others also he can satisfy. He doesn't trouble other living entities. Rather, he wants to serve. Another aspect of material world is, in the material world, you will find material world is a poor imitation of the spiritual world, isn't it? In the material world, you will find nowadays they have chatai. In India, sometimes chatai, you get that wooden chatai. Sometimes we sleep on the wooden chatai. We have, we read on this wooden chatai. It's very nice, very healthy. Wood is very healthy to be on. Whereas nowadays, in same color of the wood, they make plastic chatais, polyvinyl chatais. Is it the same? No, it's not the same. Why? Because the polyvinyl chatais are actually, they create some kind of ushna or heat in the body, in the thigh region. So it's very detrimental to our health. But they want to color it and cheat the people. So they are trying to make some artificial chatai, but the effect is different. It may look the same, but function is different. It doesn't say one actually benefits, one harms. Similarly, you will find nowadays sometimes they put up artificial trees, coconut trees. Like you have coconut water in US, packaged coconut water. I'm not sure. In India, sometimes if we have ulcers or too much heat in the body, all you have to do is go to the street, get coconut water, offer it and take it. Done. But nowadays, I'm not so sure about packaged coconut water. Is it really cooling? Because it's packaged for a long time. It's not just shipped yesterday, isn't it? So sometimes the material world is like that. It's a very poor imitation. So in our life also, we will find we want plastic mango or fresh mango. You want fresh mango because fresh mango is juicy. Fresh mango smells very nice. It's very tasty and it's very healthy. Whereas plastic mango, it looks like a mango, nice color, but there's no smell. Plastic mango you cannot eat. So it is not really beneficial. So therefore, as people become more and more godless, people are going away and away. As they go away and away from Krishna, they adopt artificial means of sustenance. Isn't it? Like Srila Prabhupada mentions in the Vedic times, their real economy was on gold. Today, our economy runs on paper. Isn't it? In Vedic times, people used to use silver platter, silver spoon, golden cup, or silver cup and silver plates to eat daily. But today we use plastic, if not paper. Paper, plastic, steel is still much better. So in this way, people are thinking, yes, I'm advancing in my life, but where's the advancement? Yes, the Vedic times, people of the Yod, they were much more advanced than us, isn't it? Because they were actually they were actually prosperous. They had land. Prabhupada says prosperity means land and cows. They had land, they had cows, they had peaceful living, no tension. Like one of our devotees here, now because he recently joined his job for last 1-2 months, he's doing job. So he can sometimes get call anytime. So now if I get a missed call, it's not that much of a serious problem. But for him, he has to be running, immediately while doing our book reading, he got one call. So immediately he had to run. He had to say, Prabhu, I just got a call. I don't know who's calling. Unknown number. Probably the manager is calling. I have to just take this call. So much tension. So therefore, more we go away from Krishna Bahirmukh, Maya, Krishna Bahirmukh, in CC it is stated, not CC also, and one other scripture also it is stated. As we turn away from Krishna, we have become Krishna Bahirmukh. And because we are looking in the opposite direction, immediately Maya captures us. And of course, Srila Prabhupada says, what does Maya do after she catches us? Two things. First is she covers us, she blinds us, and second, she kicks us. Prakshepatmika and Avranatmika. First she covers, and then she kicks, kicking potency. So in this way, we understand that Vedic lifestyle was more peaceful, Vedic lifestyle was more natural, and it was more God-centered. Whereas today's lifestyle has become very difficult to live with because it's more, there's a lot of pollution, more artificial means of sustenance, and there's no peace of mind. Yeah, sometimes the company gives us work from home, but when we were working in company, when we are going in person, sometimes it's limited to 9 to 5. And work from home means you are basically working all the time. Some devotees have told me. Sometimes they can call you at any time and they can ask you to work. because and therefore they give you free laptop. Some new people who join company, they are very happy. I got new laptop, but company has its motivation. Why to give new laptop, isn't it? So that you can make sure the employee works anytime they want. So in this way, we are living on artificial means is not very. Uh, it's not because it's not natural. We don't become truly happy and satisfied, and therefore you will find even the materialistic society, part of the society, they are also turning back. They are going. The Americans want to go to the east. They want to. They're taking up yoga. They're taking up Ayurveda. They're taking up organic food. Before, whatever was in production was organic. Today, because they produce so much in surplus, inorganic food and food filled with insecticides and pesticides, now organic you have to pay much more, isn't it? So unfortunate. So therefore, the material world, because it is an imitation, it looks nice. Maya is known for showing her glamour. She can dance her outer glamour and glitter very nicely, but actually, substance is very almost nothing, no substance. So therefore, we have to turn towards spiritual realm and spiritual society, spiritual lifestyle. When we do that, it becomes very soothing, and Krishna consciousness practice becomes very natural in such a society. So this I was speaking with regard to eco-friendly environment. Therefore, we want eco-friendly environment. Once my spiritual master was traveling in a flight, and next to him there was an environmentalist who was sitting in the flight. So she asked, Swamiji, what are you doing for the environment? She thought, this fellow only chants Hare Krishna and practices religious things, but I am doing so much for the environment. So with that mood, she asked, Swamiji, what do you think? What are you doing for the environment? So my spiritual master said, just as you are putting effort to cleanse the ecology of the outer world, I teach people to cleanse the ecology of the inner world. Isn't it? Because what is inside gets manifested outside. Why is material world such a mess? Why is there pollution? So many other problems. Because inside we are housing, instead of housing our Lordship Shri Radha Krishna, we are housing lust, anger, greed. So therefore, because of the greed in the heart, now that greed manifests outside as want of more and more of resources. So people are digging deep into the earth, Prabhupada says, and they're exploiting earth, Mother Earth. So more and more we exploit Mother Earth, less and less she will produce. She'll withdraw the resources. You can study this in fourth canto. It is said. So, and because they're becoming non-devotees, Mother Earth, who is a devotee, who is a Vaishnavi, Bhudevi, consort of the Supreme Lord, she doesn't want to give out to the materialists. She wants to give out to the devotees. So therefore, I heard from one senior devotee, if at all today we are getting any production of resources, why? Only for one reason, because there's at least some few devotees on this planet Earth chanting Hare Krishna. Therefore, Mother Earth is still producing. Wait till the time the end of Kali Yuga comes. And if there are no devotees, that time Kalki understands there's only one solution. Take out the sickle and cut off everyone's head. That's all. That's the only solution at the end of Kali Yuga. So just as we want eco-friendly environment for the body, we want ego-friendly relationships for a healthy soul. Eco-friendly environment is for the healthy body, and ego-friendly relationships is for the healthy soul. Krishna tells Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna, I'm giving you this most confidential knowledge for one reason. Why? Because you're anasuyave. You're not envious of me. So ego usually translates, or a symptom of ego can be envy. Sometimes if another devotee is progressing ahead of us, he's progressing faster than us in bhakti, it can become a source of envy for us. We think, why him, not me? Some younger devotees than us, they are studying Shastra, they're going deeper and speaking a lot, so it can become a source of insecurity or envy for us. One may think, why not me? Sometimes if our spiritual master comes to our temple, he appreciates one devotee, he's giving a lot of mercy to that devotee and not me. We can think, why not me? Why only them? So again, source of envy. So therefore, material world, everyone is envious of one another. That's how material relationships are, based on envy. Where spiritual relationships are not like this. To get spiritual knowledge, Krishna told Arjuna, you have to be anasuyave, non-envious. That means you're happy that others are progressing in bhakti. You're happy that others are making, they're advancing, they're learning more, they're studying more, and it should become source of inspiration, not envy. We have to get inspiration from them. So in the spiritual world, you will find in Kailash, the abode of Lord Shiva. In their parking lot, you will find different vehicles. Lord Shiva has his vehicle, which is Nandi Bull. Parvati has her vehicle, which is a tiger. Ganesh has his vehicle, which is a mouse. Kartikeya has his vehicle, which is a peacock. And sometimes Lord Shiva also parks his snake over there. Same parking lot. Naturally inimical entities. But you will never see them fighting. Tiger and bull, naturally inimical. Peacock and snake, naturally inimical. Snake and mouse, naturally inimical. But is there any quarrel? No quarrel at all. Why? Because Lord Shiva has kept Krishna in the center. Lord Shiva is setting a beautiful example of how to lead a grihastha life. Isn't it? Because he keeps Krishna in the center and always thinks of Lord Krishna's glories and chants and spreads Krishna's glories. Therefore, even the most inimical entities are not inimical. They're very friendly. They're parked next to one another, but there's no quarrel. Similarly, you'll find when Lord Chaitanya entered the forest of Jarikanda with Balbhadra Bhattacharya, and he started chanting Hare Krishna mantra so beautifully. Balbhadra Bhattacharya was a little scared because Lord Chaitanya is entering in a wild forest filled with tigers and lions and elephants. But to his amazement, he saw the most inimical animals like tiger and deer. Tiger was chasing after a deer. But as soon as they came in the realm of Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan, immediately as they were chasing, they just, instead of chasing one another, they started dancing with one another. Chaitanya Charitamrita goes to say they even started kissing one another out of love, not out of lust. So similarly, elephants started dancing. The birds started dancing. The small reptiles started dancing all together. There was a Sankirtan party of the wild animals over there. Why? Because Lord Chaitanya was chanting Hare Krishna mantra, isn't it? So therefore, when we keep Krishna in the center, then Jio Jinedo principle is easy to follow. Why? Because Yayatmasuk Prasirti, we become satisfied. There is no want for more and more and more for oneself. Therefore, Vedic life is about giving out. Material life is about, or modern day lifestyle is about taking. In Vedic lifestyle, according to Vedic custom, on one's birthday, the person whose birthday it is, he gives out gifts to others. Do you know this? Whereas today, we expect gifts. So, Krishna says, Yanisha Sarvabhutanam Tasyam Charit Samyami. So, in that verse, Krishna says that the Vedic lifestyle and the modern lifestyle, they are like black and white, you can say, opposite. Therefore, we sleep early, get up early. The materialist, once I called my friend, or he called me at 4 a.m. I told him, wonderful, you started getting up very early. He said, no, I'm going to sleep right now. I was just playing some games till now. So you'll find they sleep at 4 a.m., we get up at 4 a.m. Isn't it? So Vedic lifestyle and modern lifestyle like that, they're black and white, they are complete opposite. So in the spiritual world, I'll just show you some verses from 3rd canto. You'll find how the envy is not at all there towards the Supreme Lord and towards one another. Just a minute. I'll come to this. Before this, I'll show you another verse. In the 15th chapter of the 3rd canto, Brahma is explaining to, I think 4 Kumaras, or to 4 Kumaras. He gives a description of the kingdom of God. In that, there's some beautiful verses you'll find. Just a minute. Yeah, you'll find from here 17th. वैमानिका सललना चरितानि शश्वत् गायन्ति यत्र शमलाक्षपणानि भर्तुः अन्तर्जलेन विकसन् मधुमाधवीनां गन्धेन खण्डितधियोऽप्यनिलं क्षिपन्तः. Can one of you read the translation?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you. Translation. In the Vaikuntha planets, the inhabitants fly in their airplanes, accompanied by their wives in concerts, and eternally sing of the character and activities of the Lord, which are always devoid of all inauspicious qualities. While singing the glories of the Lord, they deride even the presence of the blossoming Madhavi flowers, which are fragrant and laden with honey.
Yeah. So in this verse, it is being mentioned that yes, there is a husband and wife even in the spiritual world, but you will find Prabhupada makes very nice statements at the. Is it this? Yeah, you will find here. Yes. Can someone read from here? The inhabitants of Vaikuntha. From here, this part of purport, can someone read?
I can read. The inhabitants of the Vaikuntha, however, are so interested in glorifying the Lord that they do not like the disturbances of such a nice peace while they are chanting the Lord's glories. In other words, they are pure devotees. They consider glorification of the Lord more important than their own sense gratification. In the Vaikuntha planets, there is no question of sense gratification. To smell the fragrance of blossoming flower is certainly very nice, but it is simply for the sense gratification. Inhabitants of the Vaikuntha give first preferences to the service of the Lord, not their own sense gratification.
Yeah, so that's the point. So this is the most important point in this purport. The inhabitants of Vaikuntha give first preference to the service of the Lord, not their own sense gratification. They have all facilities for sense gratification. Sometimes in this world, it is easy to say no to sense gratification when you don't have it. Like if someone has diabetes, one may say, yeah, Prabhu, I'm okay with sweets. I'm not so much of a sweet fan. Yeah, it's easy to say because you have diabetes. You cannot eat, detrimental for your health. But in Vaikuntha, you have all facilities. Your body is very fit, spiritual body. But they deride sense gratification because the joy that comes out of serving Krishna, glorifying Krishna, and hearing about Krishna is so much that sense gratification is very petty. Here, serving the Lord in transcendental love yields such transcendental pleasure that in comparison, sense gratification is counted as insignificant. It's very minute sense gratification. They don't even care for it. Paravatanya Britasara Chakravaka Datyuha Hamsa Shukatitribarhinam Yaha Kolahalo Viramate Chiramatra Muchair Bringadipe Harikatam Ivagayamane. So this verse talks about the different birds in the spiritual world, like pigeons, cuckoo, crane, chakravaka, there's gallinule, swan, parrot, partridge, peacock, and many other birds. And they all sing very beautifully. And in spiritual world, everyone is glorifying Krishna only, not themselves. These are the foremost of the kirtanyas over there. But Krishna doesn't say, because you sing nicely, only you guys sing. No. Nor are they saying, hey, you don't sing because I sing better than you. You will see when the Bringadipe means the king of the bumblebees come. He's only doing buzz. In that buzzing, he's actually glorifying Krishna. But when he buzzes to glorify Krishna, because he's glorifying Krishna, all the beautiful singing birds, including the cuckoo, keeps quiet. Why? Because what is most important is that he's glorifying Krishna. So therefore, there's no envy. There's no competitive mentality. Again, you'll see between the flowers. Mandara kunda kurabot pala champakarna punnaga naga bakulam bujapari jata gandhe chite tulasika bharane natasya yasmim tapassu manaso bahumanayanti there are many fragrant flowers in the spiritual world. Mandara, Kunda, Puraba, Utpala, Champaka, Arna, Punnaga, Nagakeshara, Bakula, Lily, Parijata, or so many and many more flowers. They're all known for their beautiful fragrances. But then when Tulsi, who is the topmost devotee of Krishna, comes amongst them, she is not necessarily known for her smell. But if you ask me, I personally like the smell of Tulsi. But she is not known as a fragrant smelling flower or a plant in comparison to others. But as she comes, all the flowers bow down in front of Tulsi. Why? Because she has much more devotion to Krishna. Looking at her devotion, they bow down. They don't think, because I am better smelling than you, now you set aside and let Krishna enjoy me. They don't think like that. They say, because you have more devotion, please, I bow down for you. It goes to show no envy between flowers, no competitive mentality. Yeah. And then this one. Yad sankulam haripada natimatra dishthair Vaiduryamarakatahe mamayir vimanaihi Yesham rihat katitata smita shobhimukhya Krishnatmanam naraja adadurutsamadaihi Utsmayadihi. Yeah, can one of you read? Translation.
The inhabitants of Vaikuntha travel in their airplanes made of lapis lazuli, emerald, and gold. Although crowded by their consorts who have large hips and beautiful smiling faces, they cannot be simulated by passion by their mirth and beautiful charms.
Yeah, that means they have such, you can say it's like a Ferrari or something. Vaikuntha airplane, made of lapis lazuli, emerald, and gold is like today's Ferrari. Traveling in Ferrari, they have beautiful Miss Universe and models as their wives, but their devotion to Krishna is so much, they're not distracted by it. Prabhupada says, actually, why have we come from the spiritual world to the material world? Because of envy of Krishna. In the spiritual world, Krishna is dancing with the gopis, and we also question, hey, where are my gopis? Immediately, Krishna says, okay, you get your gopis in the play field of the material world. Try to enjoy there like me. That's what we're trying here, isn't it? So in the spiritual world, there is no envy at all. Till now, we were seeing how between the living entities, there is no envy. Now, this verse shows how even with Krishna, there is no envy. Actually, the envy towards Krishna is a source of all kinds of envy. As soon as we feel envious towards any other living entity, we should understand this is a part and parcel of our envy towards Krishna. But once we become non-envious of Krishna, then our envy towards all other living entities subsides. We only have love for others. And Prabhupada makes again interesting statements towards the end of this purport. Yeah. Sri Prabhupada is writing, it is specifically mentioned here that a woman's large hips are very attractive and they stimulate man's passion. But the wonderful feature of Vaikuntha is that although women have large hips and beautiful faces and are decorated with ornaments of emeralds and jewels, the men are so absorbed in Krishna consciousness that the beautiful bodies of women cannot attract them. Please understand that Lord Krishna is the only Purusha over there. We are all Prakriti, man's body or woman's body. Everyone is to be enjoyed. Krishna is the only enjoyer. That's the real gender. Gender over there in spiritual world is Purusha Prakriti. How many Purushas? One. Krishna, that's it. Everyone else is Prakriti. In other words, there is enjoyment of the association of opposite sex. That means there is husband and wife, but there is no sexual relationship, Sri Prabhupada writes. The residents of Vaikuntha have a better standard of pleasure, so there is no need of sex pleasure, like that he says. So why this is important? Because when we are living in Krishna conscious society here, Sri Prabhupada said, my temples are Vaikuntha. They're just as Vaikuntha, isn't it? So therefore, our focus also should be Krishna consciousness. And once we're Krishna conscious, all our lust, anger, greed will subside automatically. Because lust means envy towards Krishna in truth. So these are some of the verses which actually glorifies and the Geo-Jinedo aspect in the spiritual world. So I was thinking, so what do we learn from this? That for if we are actually living in a Krishna conscious community, something that actually pulls us down is maybe envy towards others. So usually, how do we take it out? We sometimes, it is said being envious is actually false appreciation. That means we appreciate someone's qualities, but inside we just think that because he has such nice quality, but I want it. Why is it him? So we actually have appreciation for them. So in a Krishna conscious community, we should be very careful not to make comparisons on a materialistic platform. That's where it all begins. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati, he writes a verse that Arche Vishnu Shiladir Guru Naramati Vaishnavi Jati Buddhi, and so on. He goes how we can actually mundanize even spiritual things in our surroundings, like Arche Vishnu Shiladir. That means one can think, oh, this Vishnu deity, Archa Vigraha, that's just a stone. Spiritual will see, oh, this is Sakshat Krishna. Materialist will see, oh, that's just a stone. Arche Vishnu Shiladir Guru Naramati. Oh, this is my guru, spiritual master, he's transcendental. But if we see with a materialistic vision, we will see, oh, he also has to eat, he also has to sleep, he also has to pass stool. So what is so special? Just like his body, I also have a body. So that's a very mundane materialistic vision. Archo Vishnu Shiladar Guru Naramati Vaishnavi Jati Buddhi. Oh, he's American Vaishnava. What will he know? I am coming from Indian, So that is also false. So therefore, materialistic vision begins on, or you can say it exists on a materialistic platform, on the bodily platform. So where does envy lie? On materialistic platform. Therefore, let me just show you a verse to conclude. I found this very interesting. And this is in 11th canto, 28th chapter, the second verse. Parasvabhava karmani yaprashansati nindati sa ashu brashyate swarthad asati abhiniveshataha. Asati abhiniveshataha. Abhiniveshataha, if you actually search this word, it's different meanings, you'll understand. It actually refers to material absorption. This materialistic absorption. See, from the misconception of being a product of material energy as abhiniveshataha. So it says, how do we quickly, okay, so maybe someone can first read. Can someone read a translation to this?
Whoever indulges in praising or criticizing the qualities and behaviors of others will quickly become deviated from his own best interest by his entanglement in illusory dualities.
Yeah. So what is this verse saying? One who indulges in praising or criticizing the qualities and behavior of others. That means sometimes swabhava means one's nature, isn't it? So that sometimes it's a little more intrinsic to the person. Sometimes the way they laugh, sometimes the way they react to situations, sometimes the way they speak. Actually, we should not criticize these things, nor should we praise. Why? Because more we make praises and criticisms on materialistic platform, more we get absorbed on materialistic platform. So then what should we appreciate? We should appreciate their devotion to Krishna. Someone can sing very nice Mangalati. Instead of saying, Prabhu, you sang very beautifully. Yeah, that's okay. But more importantly, Prabhu, you sang with so much devotion. It was heart-touching. That's a better way to praise. Or criticism means one can, but in association of Vaishnavas, unless one is on a guru platform, unless someone is your subordinate and you have given him enough appreciation, better not to criticize for a healthy community. So maybe because it's already time, there's much more to speak, of course, but because already time, I'll just stop here with this verse. This is Srimad Bhagavatam 11.28.2. You can read it, even the purport at your own leisure, but it's very instructive to all of us, because it says, I thought we should only not criticize. I never knew we should not even praise material qualities, but both praising and criticizing actually makes us materially absorbed. So one should keep focus on Krishna consciousness. To the degree we are focused on Krishna consciousness, to that degree we can be free from materialistic criticism or praises. Once we are little, you can say little spaced out, as they say, spaced out in Krishna consciousness, that's when we actually get into all this. We talk about others and talk about their natures and all that, which is not very good. Maybe I'll stop here. Are there any questions or reflections or corrections?
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for touching this topic. Before any questions and comments, I just want to make a few announcements. The devotees can think about a question during the time. So as continuing every Wednesday Sangha, like, kindly join, like we have a wonderful topic, like, how Arjunananda Prabhu is talking, very important topic that we can meditate on and reflect on our Krishna consciousness, our relationships, and how to be balanced under, like, our surroundings. So that's one of the beautiful things that to meditate on. And this coming Sunday, Shibir Mata is going to give a class on our center. Please do not miss this Sangha. And our annual picnic is coming on August 5th on Vanchan Park. So you can bring any of your family, your friends, everyone is welcome. It's open for everyone. Please bring it. So we also you can see the map and everything, how to drive there. We'll be connected. You can get all the directions through here. And everyone can join also weekly Bhakti Vrikshas, which is one of the wonderful programs that many devotees have connected to Krishna consciousness through this program. It's very homely, closed programs that any all ages can join. And we also have Bhagavad Gita reading every day from Monday to Friday at 12 p.m. 15 minutes reading of Bhagavad Gita, going through the verses and translation. This is also wonderful time to read the Bhagavad Gita for uplifting ourselves for the rest of the day. And every day we have 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. chanting, morning japa meditation. You can join anytime. If devotees, especially in the Purushottam month, like, we encourage all the devotees to join at least, to do one round, like, chanting and get inspired. So please do join the japa call, at least, for one round. I think that will be very helpful, so that every devotee can connect and, like, get some time to do japa together. And also, again, we have been announcing that you can also view our ISKCON calendar. We can see all the events that is happening throughout programs, the timing, the place, all the information. Also, you might will get over here where you can get all the details of the programs. Like, just like if you go to August, like you see, we have picnic information this year. All the Ekadasi fasting, breaking time, everything is given. So you can go through that also. So thank you again. So we can go on question answer. We have, I think, Kennedy. Somebody has a questions. Kindly go ahead, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for such a lovely lecture. Please accept my humble obeisances. I just absolutely loved how we were able to touch on, yes, this world is very exploitative of each other. We are constantly worried about who's going to come after us next. But once we come to Vaikuntha, even in this lifetime and on this planet, there's so much hope here. And it reminds me just how magnificent Krishna is to have given us this opportunity to even experience his energy in this life, and how much hope is in that. So even when we're fighting against the Maya and the illusion and our own body's wants and where our senses lead us, even in Vaikuntha, no matter how beautiful someone is, Krishna overshadows them in such a lovely way. And so there's just this level of protection. So thank you for that reminder. I needed to hear that today.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for such a wonderful lecture. And just wanted to share one reflection and then a very basic question. So your talk reminded me of Canto 4, where Prachetas they are still doing their austerities in the water, and Lord Vishnu appears. And the first thing that he appreciates in the Prachetas is that you are numerous, you are so many, but your cooperation to the first time you showed cooperation when you all accepted your father's order that go out and do tapasya and then you'll be able to rule. You all accepted that, and there was no fight among you that, okay, we should go here, we should go there. You guys all came together and settled in a place. and then accepted the verse of Lord Shiva, and then you did your austerities. And so the very first thing he actually praises about the Prachetas is that your cooperation, that's the word he's using. And then Prabhupada goes on explaining that whole spirit of cooperation that, my Guru Maharaj always says that two people staying together, that's a big austerity in this Kali Yuga any which way. So if people are staying together there, even if there's a little bit of cooperation, that's a big thing. And then we see this, all these sons, they unanimously do the same thing. And how they accept the other. So that spirit of cooperation is just so strong in there. And that's why Vishnu says that I'm going to give you the benediction because I'm so happy with your cooperation. So that is also another motivation for we devotees, that if we all cooperate, yes, we will get the glance, the merciful glance of Lord on ourselves too. So that's very hopeful. So I was just reminded of that. And Prabhu, my next question is, my question actually is very, very basic. We hear the word envy, but if you can explain what the word really means, because, maybe it's conditioning or whatever it is. The thing is that, the moment somebody starts doing something else, yes, you are so right in saying that appreciation leads to that envy. The first thing is that, oh, wow, he's so good or she's so good, be it delivering a lecture or doing a kirtan or making, whichever service it is. The first thing is appreciation, but the second thing is that, oh, wow. I mean, I know that with what feeling I'm saying it, but immediately my mind tells me, hey, come on, really appreciate that person, I mean, I'm not carrying any malice or anything over why he has it or she has it and I don't have it. But the very first instant that, oh, wow, I know sometimes that appreciation is very real, but sometimes there is that little tint of jealousy, I can say. So it would be great, Prabhu, if you could just, explain what envy is and how we can understand that, okay, at least I'm out of the realm of envy, I'm safe. So.
Thank you for the question. The word envy in Sanskrit is matsarata. So matsarata means para utkarsham asahanam. That means to not be able to tolerate others' happiness. That is envy. In my understanding, jealousy means someone says, oh, he has it, I also want it. Envy means he has it, but he should not have it. Only I should have it. So you're ready to pull him down also, pull the other person down. So the cause of envy is, we can say that the disease, the material disease, as it is said, Vikritam Vrajavadu Biritam Cha Vishnu Shraddhan Vitonu Shunayat Atavarnayedya Bhakti Param Bhagavati Pratilabhya Kamam Hritrogam. And Hritroga is Kamam, which is lust. That means lust is the basis of everything in this world. And that lust is called as enjoying mentality. So that's the very, you can say the very disease because of which we are in the material world. So being the basis, the enjoying mentality has to be transformed into service attitude. So that enjoying mentality, for example, lust, when lust is fulfilled, it leads to greed. That means you want more. But if the lust is not fulfilled, it leads to anger. Why not? So later on, like that, it leads to all other anarthas. So the root is lust in this material world, and that's the very reason we are here. Now, how to actually overcome envy? In my understanding, it would be always we should understand. Usually, envy comes when we compare on the material platform, material skills. Oh wow, he's such a nice speaker, but I'm not as good as him. So therefore I showed that verse 11.28.2 where it says Prabhava karmani ya prashamse nindati. So therefore it says as soon as we make comparison on a material platform, that means, oh, he sings nicely, he or she cooks nicely. These are the material skill set of the body. That's where all the problem comes. So praise or criticism on bodily platform results in absorption on bodily platform. So instead of that, if we can say, wow, you're cooked with so much of devotion, I can taste your devotion in this, then you're immediately shifting the focus to level of devotion. And as soon as we talk about devotion, there is no material barrier to that. It's not that because someone can sing better, he has better devotion. No. So therefore, as soon as we go from material conception to spiritual conception, immediately all barriers are removed. That means in spiritual world, in material world, there's only one gold medalist, isn't it? One winner. Whereas in spiritual world, there are multiple gold medalists. We all are gold medalists in spiritual world. So where is the envy? There's no need to envy. And at the same time, the heart transformation has to happen. That's what it says. As more and more we keep hearing Krishna Katha and keep glorifying Krishna, the heart gets transformed, lust into love. As soon as there's love for Krishna, there's compassion to other living entities. It's like a vector. The same vector towards Krishna is love. The same vector when you point toward living entities, it becomes compassion. Same. So then there is no question of envy. This is my understanding, what I understand. As such, your question was not that basic.
Because we keep hearing that word, but it's better to have a very clear understanding of it so that we understand where we are. And then, because if the identification of problem is not there, then definitely the execution of solution will never happen. So I was just thinking, let's first understand how to identify. Thank you so much, Guru. That was wonderful. Thank you.
Anybody else have a question? So just wanted to add on this, Pro. I think we hear so much about it, but like, you know, giving up the false ego, building the right relationship. But, you know, like it's definitely very easy when it doesn't happen to us, like, you know, but that nature of that, you know, the egocentric, that it comes into a picture sometimes, like, you know, something happens to us, we really get affected, like, you know, and we really actually forget. We actually practicing Krishna consciousness. We are dealing with devotees. So how can we remind, you know, ourselves that, you know, whenever this kind of situation happen, that actually to reflect on and go really deeply, like, you know, maybe like, you know, what I'm doing, maybe I have to really correct myself, or like, you know, to see the things in a different perspective. Right? How can we, like, you know, reconnect to that right Krishna consciousness mode in those situations?
So in my understanding, Prabhuji, I understand that all spiritual qualities have to be practiced. Though in Bhagavatam we hear Yasyasti Bhagavati, Yasyasti Bhaktir Bhagavata Kinchana, Sarvair Gunes Tatta Samasate Suraha. As soon as one practices bhakti, all the qualities of demigods, it descends upon that individual. Yes, but at the same time, to show our sincerity, we need to practice humility. One has to practice tolerance. One has to practice appreciation, and one has to practice not thriving on envy. One has to practice, for example, just when we chant Hare Krishna, we have to practice focusing on Hare Krishna mantra. We have to practice glorifying Krishna. We are not at that level, but we have to practice doing it. So similarly, appreciating someone else, like when I was being cultivated in a preaching center in India, we were all told, because, you know, we were all students, you know, there's a lot of sometimes frictions and envy and many things. Why did he get more marks than me, even amongst devotees? So then we would actually practice having an appreciation notebook. Daily we would write appreciation for one devotee, daily. So then when his birthday or something would come, we would have a birthday celebration. You know, in that we would actually, you know, whoever birthday is there, some chosen devotees would glorify him for his spiritual qualities. Not that, you know, he scores well in exam, he's a good physicist, not like that. But he's such a nice devotee. Every day he gets up early in the morning, chants more rounds. So spiritual qualities, we practice appreciating them. So more and more we practice, it becomes our second nature. Appreciation becomes second nature. Because if we don't actually, I heard this in a mindfulness seminar, they say we have to practice being focused. When we are not practicing being focused, by automatically we are practicing not being focused. when we are focusing our mind on something, we are practicing concentration. Other times, what are we practicing? Not to be focused in the work. So therefore, by default, we are actually practicing otherwise. So if we don't practice appreciation, we keep falling victim to envy, then we're practicing being envious. So it becomes so more and much more difficult. So therefore, we have to invest more and more time in practicing these spiritual qualities. This is my understanding.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. Anybody else have any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Pranams. Just a quick question. Thank you for the class, Prabhuji, first off. And I want to say I have fond memories with Arjunananda Prabhu in the Boston temple. Such nice kirtan, apart from other things that Lankis Prabhu mentioned. He's a very nice kirtan, very nice man out there. So thank you for the class, Prabhu. Prabhu, just a question on envy. I also feel, Prabhu, the envy sometimes, or that immature behavior sometimes come when we experience a lack of care and affection from amongst the devotees. And obviously it's a difficult times we live in, and we don't always get what we expect, and it's true for us also. We're not able to give what others expect of us. So it's kind of a difficult situation. So what should be a good mental state to have where we can be steady, not envious, and at the same time be and be able to praise devotees in a genuine, healthy way, not just for the sake of saying we do this well, but genuinely mean it. So what's the what's the right kind of balance to have, and what's the right state of mind and consciousness to be in to have those expectations low, and if it doesn't match with ours, etc., etc. So I'm not sure if I phrased the question appropriately.
In my understanding, the question is what kind of consciousness we need so that we can appreciate others and not fall victim to envy. Is that?
And also sometimes, because I feel the envy comes as a lack of care, affection, whatever our psychophysical nature needs. We he being here. So how do we set those boundaries for ourselves and set the right expectations? And the first part that you mentioned also.
Right. So if I can answer in two parts. One is with regard to the first part. Actually, one CEO was interviewed, and he was known for building this company. And the reporter asked him, how did you manage to get so many individuals on your side to help you out with your company? He said, I really put effort in digging out the good qualities. And he compared it to digging the earth. He said, sometimes in search for gold, we dig earth, isn't it? As you're digging and digging, sometimes you get a lot of dirt. For some people, it's easy. The gold is gold or whatever. The valuables are really up, so you don't have to dig so much. It's really visible. For some people, you have to really dig deep. And more you deep, you are seeing, oh, more and more mud is coming, dirt is coming. But the focus is what? Focus is you're looking for not mud. You're looking for some nice, good qualities. So therefore, we our focus, if we are focused on looking for good qualities in a person, yes, while we're digging for the good qualities, we will get a lot of other dirt, because really you have to understand the person. You talk to that person, you interact and you deal with that person. So many things we'll see, shortcomings. But we have to keep our focus on trying to find the good in that person. When we consciously put that focus, then gradually you start seeing some symptoms of good. Oh, at least this person, he does this. At least this person does this. At least he's chanting 16 rounds. At least he's practicing 4 regular principles. How many people in this world do that? So like this, more and more we dig. Sometimes a lot of dirt comes, but we should not get distracted by dirt, but keep our focus in finding the good qualities. In that way, we can actually try to we can actually find appreciation for that person. And our consciousness is that we want to really progress in spiritual life. So the focus also has to be there. We can also understand Maya's arrangement to be all these devotees with shortcomings. If we are seeing shortcomings, we should understand Krishna is testing me with this. That's our consciousness. Krishna has put this person with so many shortcomings because he really wants to test me. Am I really ready for going back to spiritual world? Krishna says, Nirmana Moha Jitsanga Dosha Adhyatma Vinivritta Kaman. In that he says one has to overcome envy. So Krishna is actually, through this person in my life, he's actually testing me. He's showing to me where I have to work upon. So with that consciousness, if we can keep focus on how I can grow in spiritual life, see, till the time our focus is on spiritual subject matter, till that time we will not get distracted by other shortcomings. We actually don't mind. But sometimes our focus is not very strong due to sometimes lack of hearing and reading. So then what happens again, because of our past samskaras, again the focus can go to material subject matter. And what is that material subject matter? In our education institution, we have been taught about comparing. So automatically we go to that again. We start comparing. Oh, he is like this. I don't have this. He has a better package. I'm still, he's in a better position. I'm still in this position. Again, all that material conception comes. So I feel that most important quality would be focus in spiritual life. Our focus should be how much am I purifying my heart, isn't it? So therefore, even today the materialists also understand that they say don't compete with others, compete with yourself, like that they say. So we also have to compete with ourselves spiritually. We don't have to look at others. And could you please remind me second part of your question?
So in terms of like, what are the expectations? So thank you for that answer, Roji. I think it's helpful. I was just trying to understand what's the right state of mind we should be in when we don't experience the same kind of love, kind of affection or care that we kind of may expect from XYZ devotees.
Right. Actually, we all should have some senior devotee with whom we can reveal our heart to. Dadati Pratigrinati. In that he says, Guyamakyati Prichati. Guyamakyati Prichati is very, very important if at all we are planning for a very strong spiritual community. Spiritual community, Prabhupada also amongst all the 6 exchanges, he says the Guyamakyati Prichati is very important. With whom you can reveal your heart and you can share without feeling insecure. Very important. We have to find such a senior devotee in our lives. And sometimes, at least for us, we all have mentors in Pune and everything. We have mentor system. We all have been assigned a senior devotee with whom we share, we get guidance, etc. And sometimes, there are different types of people. Sometimes the chemistry it's not matching for some reason, or sometimes we are seeking love, but that Prabhu is giving only thunder, isn't it? So it doesn't match. So then we can reveal to them Prabhu, or you can reveal to his senior that Prabhu, maybe can I have my mentor changed? Because sometimes people need motherly mentors who can really give affection, love and affection, more than philosophy. Fatherly mentors give sometimes very rational philosophy, but sometimes we need motherly mentors who can actually care for us, isn't it? So generally here, this is how I grow. So we always had the freedom to approach senior devotee and say that, if we have problem with mentor, we can change the mentor, or we can always, whoever our senior devotee with whom we can share our heart, if that devotee exists, then spiritual life becomes like very easy. If there is a senior devotee with whom we can share our heart.
Yes, that's helpful. Thank you, Guruji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
One more final question, Shibri Mataji. Thank you.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for such a wonderful class. So my question is, you mentioned that envy is false appreciation, right? So if someone is better than us in a certain activity or in a certain skill that person has, which we want to have and we don't have it, we feel envious, right? But in some situations, suppose, especially at workplaces, I have seen that suppose I give in my best, a certain person goes and given their best that they can, but still someone else gets the credit because of all the corporate politics that happen around it, and all of those things. So in those situations, it is not the envy that I'm feeling against that person who got it, but I'm feeling being wronged. I'm feeling actually injustice, right? I'm feeling that this is not the right thing that happened. So how do we practically process that feeling in our minds using our spirituality?
Very good question. Well, if I was in your situation, we should also understand sometimes we do get credits in our life for something which we haven't done. And sometimes we don't get credit for something which we do. So if we don't, when we get credit, devotees push it on to Guru and Vaishnavas, their mercy. When we don't get credit, we thank Krishna for keeping us humble. But when you say it's a corporate situation, sometimes that means, Prabhu, don't talk philosophy, talk practical. So corporate situation, yeah, of course, there's corporate politics and this and that. Therefore, I'm in Brahmacharya ashram, so I only work for 1 year. So I don't have so much experience with corporate politics and all that, but politics is everywhere. So my approach to such politics, or where the credit is given to someone on purpose and all that, is Krishna is helping me to be focused on spiritual. If I had gotten this, then it would have been made me more proud, or it could have distracted me from spiritual service, etc., spiritual life. So therefore, anyway, Krishna is there. Actually, if we have Krishna, that's all we need. We don't need anything else. When we don't have Krishna, we try to fill that hole in the heart with name, fame, prestige, etc. This is my whatever understanding. Does that help?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Yes.
So thank you everyone. Thank you, Arjunananda Prabhu.